Hey folks, welcome to verifiedinvesting.com. Chief Market Strategist here. Now in today's video, we're going to deep dive into gold and silver. Are they just breaking out and headed towards $5,000 on gold and $100 on silver? We're going to look at the charts and see what the charts are telling us. What's the unconditional kind of neutral view based on the charts, not based on hype and narratives? All right, we'll also look at platinum and palladium to see what is going on. So let's dive right into it here, folks. Take a look at gold. Now gold is trading up. It is making a new all-time high. It is piercing this trend line. This trend line is absolutely key based on a daily close today. A daily close above, which we currently are on gold, would solidify, in my opinion, a new leg higher on gold that should take us towards the $5,000 level. All right, I just want to show you this real quick. So based on that, what we have is if we take the same trend line, which has been monitoring, we've been monitoring this for gold and silver, and we take that and we do a parallel. Take a look at this up to this upper level. Look at where it goes right up to the $5,000 level. So when you say, well, why did Gareth pick the arbitrary number? Like, is it just because it's a round even number at $5,000? The answer is no. There's nothing in technical analysis that should be a guess, right? It should have probability. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be correct, as we know, because again, charts give you probabilities. It's like going into a casino, the house, the odds favor the house, right? Not the gambler. That's what we want to be. We want to be the casino, not the gambler in the scenario. And that's why following the charts is so key. But look at this, folks. We use that same trend line that's been giving us this support area. And if we can break above here and close, let's watch today. Do we get a close, basically above, let's say 45.85 or so? If we can, then the odds start to shift pretty heavily that we're going to start to see a move up towards 5,000 right up there. Resistance. Now, just as a little side note here, we all know what's going on. Why is gold rallying so sharply today, up almost 2%? And the answer is this. Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, has revealed that the DOJ is investigating the Federal Reserve. There's going to be subpoenas, potentially prosecutions. And the reason why this is so positive for gold and the other metals, and even potentially Bitcoin, although Bitcoin is not playing out right now, it's not bouncing. But the idea here is it's all about the independence of the Fed. If a president can start investigating and charging Federal Reserve chairmen or the presidents, it eats away at the independence of the Fed, which then eats away at the monetary health of the United States, the trust that other countries have in the financial system in the United States. It is exceptionally bad for the US and the dollar as a main currency reserve, right? The more independence the Fed loses, the more other countries are going to say, wait, we don't want to buy the debt of the US because what are they going to do? Maybe they just won't pay us back. So that means long-end interest rates 10, 20, 30-year can go up. And also, it just means that they're going to look for other reasons to diversify away from the dollar as the reserve currency of the world. That's gold. That could be another currency. Could be Bitcoin. We don't know. But ultimately, it gives them that reason. All right. So that's your chart on gold. Let's monitor it very closely. Zooming right back in, you can see right now we are trading at around 4,600 on gold as it is making a new all-time high. Next, silver. Silver is breaking above this level as well. So this was remember we had this wedge in my last video. We went over this wedge on silver. It kept hammering, then popped, then hammered, then is popping again and making a new high. Now the same thing I said goes for gold here. Gold, my friends, just like we said on silver here, any close above this line opens the door. It negates the bearishness of this reversal candle. And remember, that's what I've been saying all the time. I said, listen, anything in here is neutral to bearish unless we can take out this high. Now, that negates if we get, again, we have to see, do we get a daily close above here? Basically, a daily close above $84 per ounce. If that happens, then this opens the door. The probabilities begin to swing strongly back towards the upside on the chart of silver. Now, where could silver go? Let's use the same technique we just used. We take the same trend line, just like we did on gold. We're going to use a parallel this time. We're bringing it up towards that high. Take a look at this, guys. Where is that? Right up there at $100 silver. Now, listen, if we zoom up straight up, obviously that's a little bit lower, right? I mean, here would be 94. But the idea is, if it takes a little bit of time going out to the end of January, by the end of January, this trend line, this parallel will be at $800 silver. This is incredible, folks. I mean, we are witnessing single-handedly the metals roaring like we haven't seen it. This is almost getting to be bigger than 1979. And again, what you're seeing in terms of the trust in the US financial system, what people have been talking about for the last 5 years because of the US debt, now you have the president basically going after potentially legally. And in terms of subpoenaing and prosecuting these Federal Reserve players, it is all a strong arm to get more control. And when you have a president that controls the financial bank essentially of the US, we essentially become places like Venezuela and other places. And how many people want to buy bonds of Venezuela? Well, maybe now it's a little bit better with Maduro out. But the point is that it's a slippery slope, and it is not good for the US dollar longer term and the buying pressure. Now, we could say, oh, this is the goal to weaken the dollar because then more people will buy our goods. I agree. Manufacturing might improve. The problem is, as the dollar weakens, anything we buy overseas gets more expensive because you get less of that currency for the dollar. What does that then equate to? Anything, and we still import a majority of things. Guess what? Inflation. And look at what copper's done. Look at what all the metals have done. Oil's all of a sudden starting to look like it wants to break out, right? I mean, all of these different commodities are starting to push higher. This is a slippery slope back towards potentially 5 to 10% inflation per year. Very slippery slope, guys. All right, quickly looking at platinum and palladium. Platinum again, this is your monthly chart. We still have this major level. This is not taking it out yet. So we do see platinum at this point lagging the other metals. It doesn't mean it will continue, but as of now, if we go to our daily chart, we are not back to those highs. Yes, we're up today on platinum, but not back to those highs. Then we look at this. Here's your palladium chart. Palladium again on the daily, same thing. We're not back to that high. We go to our bigger time frame and we can see again, we're still kind of right into this area of resistance. Any sort of break of that should take us to 2300. So again, interesting to see silver and gold really making the big push here. But again, we're not seeing the full effect yet in platinum and palladium. And you know what? I'll throw in copper just for you guys. I know a lot of you guys love your copper there. Totally get that. Absolutely, folks. Let's go here. Let's go to the conks. And what we can see here on copper is copper just continues to push up. Now, interesting thing on copper here. Let's do that same sort of parallel. I see a great trend line right in here through these lows, right? And look at that. So copper here, folks, is right at the upper end of a parallel. This parallel goes back to 2002, by the way. Incredible. But look where we are. Are we going to get a breakout here? Let's find out in the coming days on copper. Copper, by the way, one of the most important for inflation. And it's not good to see it going up. All right, it is what it is, folks. And as always, I'm here to give you guys what the charts are saying. All right, the charts are in charge. No BS, just charts. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much. I will talk to you soon. Take care.